Hello. So this is my almost finished Anet A6 3D printer. Um, so far this is a long time ago, but I installed the Y-axis belt tensioner with the first spool of filament that I got with this thing that actually came with it. I installed that with the filament that came with it. This was over a month ago. The gray filament is PLA Plus that I got from eSun. This stuff prints like a dream. It's so easy to print with. Um, but yeah, so far I've gone from using this big padding that is meant for dishes as my vibration absorbent material, and I printed some flexible material, little stands, using TPU, and I mean, I had to print it using this little modification I got from Thingiverse that actually goes in the bottom of the extruder, because before it was just bending and curling on me. It would not print. And I printed it first at less than 30 millimeters a second, and it was printing fine, and I accidentally selected PLA Plus profile, and so it printed it at about 40 millimeters a second max, and they printed great. So the flexible filament can now print almost just as well as the PLA Plus, just with that small upgrade. It's just one small piece that just keeps the filament in line. So this is what I've done so far. I have my printer running with Octoprint, and this is the webcam I have. It is the C921, the one right after the C920 that came out about 6 months ago, a couple months back. And it's great. I have not made it to where I can actually use Octoprint outside of my home network yet because I'm afraid of the security risks. But anyway, so I built this thing out of 3 IKEA lac coffee tables. It works great. I haven't had any issues with it so far. What happened to my deal? There we go. So, I've done a lot of modifications with this guy. It has been quite the journey so far. I spent a little bit more money than I wanted to, doing upgrades and whatnot. But right now, I just have one MOSFET controlling the heat bed, and as you can see, it's kind of a wiring mess. And the reason why is because whenever I put it over here, it was first sitting over at the table. That's a trash microwave. That's being thrown away today. But I had it sitting over there, and it was so loud because the vibrations were just awful. But after I moved it over here and I put that dish pad underneath it, it was incredibly quiet. So, but the reason why this isn't all organized yet is because I'm getting the original Prusa i3 MK2S, and that'll be here in about 2 weeks. I've been waiting over a month for it. No, right at a month at this point. So this printer is going to be moved down here. Otherwise, all of this would have been moved out and outside of this case so that the heat doesn't affect it. But I think it'll be okay for the next 2 weeks. So, I have been dealing with ripple effects on my prints for quite some time. This is one of my most recent prints, and as you can tell, I've gotten rid of the vast majority of it. I mean, this print looks really good in my opinion. Especially compared to my first prints. Oh my god. So, let's see. Where is she? Okay, so this is one of the first benchies I did. Again, one of them, not the first, but as you can tell, it looks terrible. I did a whole bunch of modifications. I printed a whole bunch of different benchies, as you can see, and I've kept them, mostly all of them, just as a way to keep a timeline of how things have been going. Right here is my most recent benchy, and holy crap, man. Besides those little blobs right there, which I have yet to figure out how to fully get rid of, it's damn near perfect. I mean, you can see it, there's a little bit of heat damage on the front, and that's because with this enclosure, you have to keep this door open about yay wide, because if you allow the temperature to get above about 37 degrees C, PLA and PLA Plus will both warp. So I try and keep it below 36 roughly. So yeah, again, I have been tinkering a whole lot with this thing, trying to get rid of any kind of artifacts. I plan to install this Bowden setup here that I got off of Thingiverse again. I will link this in the description. This is a clone E3D V6 inside of there. It is the American-made one. That's $32 on Amazon. And I mean, yeah, I know the print isn't like all that great, but I think it's good enough to use as an X-axis. So you do have to glue this guy together. Anyway, right now I'm printing the bracket so that I can use this new fan shroud that slips into the hole right here. So these holes are moved in a way to where the fan will turn over. So I just slip this right in that way. This is by far one of the best ones I've found on Thingiverse. I will link this in the description as well. Yeah, so what I used to use before I started to use this glass panel along with the PEI sheet was this hairspray, which worked very well. I was talked into this while I was getting my hair cut. I was a little tipsy. The hairspray is about $30, and I was talked into this along with a brush. Yeah, that's what happens whenever you're not, fully there. So, anyway, this took 3 sheets to get applied correctly. I've gotten almost all of the bubbles out of this one, but the first 2 just look terrible. This stuff is hard to apply, especially whenever it's such a thin sheet like this. I found out that most people recommend getting a pretty thick one to apply, and I made the mistake of just jumping on one that I found over at Fry's. So, and there were 5 sheets in there. I even bought the 3M tape thinking I needed it, but I didn't, because this guy has adhesive on the bottom anyway. So I wasted even more money. So yeah, this is my setup right now. Yeah, I mean, as you can tell, there are still some ripples and stuff happening. These are a couple of weeks, like a week and a half old prints. I'm still having some trouble with some under extrusion. As you can see, these little things here. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure if that's even caused by under extrusion, because, like, if I printed the exact same thing, the lines would be in the same places. So I don't know if it's a problem with my retraction settings or what. So if you guys have any recommendations on how to fix that, please let me know. This will be my new Bowden mount that'll go right underneath the spool itself, and the motor and the original MK8 system will be slammed right into this thing, and then from there it'll go right into that guy. I tried to print one of the Greg's extruder setups, but it turned out good, but I'm having a lot of trouble getting the supports out. I guess that was my mistake for including supports, because you don't really need them. But before I print another one, I want to try out the original MK8 setup. The gears turned out perfect. I just got to reprint that guy. So, yeah. If you guys have any recommendations for me, please let me know. I have not installed Skynet, and the reason why is because the whole reason why I thought Skynet would be a good idea was so that I can enable auto bed leveling, but I haven't needed to, because I only have to adjust the bed level probably every 10 to 12 prints due to how well this thing works, and also using Simplify 3D you're able to very finely adjust the layer height, the first layer height. And I just haven't had any problems with it since I moved it over here. So yeah, I think that's about it. I've put some shock absorbent things back there on the motor. Again, printed with flex at about 35 millimeters a second, just with that one little piece I was talking about earlier. And yeah, I guess I'll update this whenever I get my original Prusa i3 MK2. I hate saying that whole word, but yeah. That's where I put my trash. Only plastic. So yeah, again, I'll link everything I talked about in the actual description. And again, please leave me some comments. Let me know if there's anything you see here that needs to be changed. Anything that could make my prints better. Get rid of that ringing. Oh, I forgot to add this crap. So, these are my jerk and acceleration settings that I have been playing with relentlessly. Okay, configuration motion. Okay, so this is what I have going right now. Excel's 900, V-jerk, I'll just let you guys read it as I go down. So far this has been the best settings that I have that work, getting rid of the majority of the ringing. So if you guys can recommend anything better, please let me know. I have tried many other combinations here, and I just haven't had any luck. These steps per millimeter have been the best that I've been able to get out of 100 millimeter tests. I'm able to get within about 0.1 millimeter accuracy using that method, which I know there are much better methods, like as in your actual extrusion, like how much plastic is actually extruded can help fix that problem. All that kind of fun stuff. So. Okay, so this is really the end. Again, any recommendations, let me know. I'm all ears. And I will try and answer any questions anybody has within the comments concerning what all I've done to this thing. Okay, you guys have... Oh, shit. Last thing, I'm installing dryland bearings. You want to put these inside of an actual container. But if you don't have dryland bearings, the next best thing you can do is use super lube. And you want to get, whenever you want to put that super lube on, you don't want to just put it on the rails. You want to take both the rails out. You want to take off each one of those, each one of the bearing mounts, and you want to take them over here along with the two rails, and you want to inject a buttload of that crap inside here. Get one rail, stick it on this side till about the middle, the other rail, stick it on the other side till about the middle, and then you just squeeze them together so that as much lube as possible gets put into the crevices and the actual wheel or little metal ball bearings inside of there. That is called stuffing the bearing. And the reason why is because, oh look, it's done. Is because there is a seal around the outside of those bearings that actually don't allow the vast majority of the lube that you put here to enter into that area. So you're pretty much just wasting the stuff. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you very much. You guys know what I said the last time. Y'all take care.